Aloha and welcome to Beach Walks with Rocks. You can find us at beachwalks.tv. Aloha! Aloha everybody. I'm kind of chewing on this thought about how it often takes a shift in energy in order to have a shift in action. And I'm using myself as a good example, sort of calling myself out. You know, I have a neighbor in our neighborhood who had a really messy yard. And, you know, the grass was very overgrown and really, when, you know, at times thought, wonder if anyone's really still living there or not. And so anyway, I didn't give it a lot of thought, but the thought that I did give it was kind of negative and critical. And then one day, there was a rainbow sparkling in my kitchen, and I could not figure out where this sparkling rainbow light is coming from. It was quite amazing, really. And then Shane traced it. He went outside and looked, and he said, "There's a crystal hanging under the eave of that house on the corner." And so, this house down the lane from us, with the messy yard, was the one where the crystal was hanging. And even though I was putting out not very kind thoughts towards that house was sending rainbow sparkle energy towards me. So that stopped me in my tracks, as you might imagine. And I decided to shift my energy on that and just basically drop it and let it go. And then, of course, as it turns out, later that week, there was a person out working in the yard, and I walked up and introduced myself. It was a woman, she's a nurse, and she works nights, and so she doesn't, you know, she sleeps during the day. She doesn't really have that much time to work on her yard, but she too had decided that it had gotten too far along, and so she was out working in her yard, and she's been making really, really wonderful progress, and it's looking great. And I just, you know, I just like to notice things where, you know, I'm thinking back on that show on karma, you know, and cause and effect. And there are so many situations where we can see a direct cause and effect, and then situations where we cannot see a direct cause and effect. And I think that's what leads people to think of, over here, Lex, of situations or describing things like karma to help us understand the bigger things that are outside of our realm of understanding or control. And so I'm getting in way over my head today. But just to notice that I think the energy comes before the action, and that if there are situations in my life where I don't like what's going on, that if I work on shifting my energy, that may, not necessarily, but it may shift subsequent actions, even on other people's parts. And so that's a nice thing to know about. Before I forget, which I already forgot, the Hawaiian word for radiant or sparkling is ʻōlinolino. So ʻōlinolino for you today. So have a nice rest of the week, and thanks so much for joining us here on beachwalks.tv. Aloha everybody.